Again, the emotions that you experience, not only as a team, but then that you share with your fan base, with your communities. And, you know, Kristen and Brendan, we've worked with Steve Smith, Chris Webber, you know, we got Jalen Rose over there on ESPN. I mean, so all those guys from Detroit grew up as young men, you know, watching and feeling all celebration. So Giannis has no idea, and the Bucks have no idea of the type of young men and women that they've just influenced and sharing in this victory with them.
The champagne shower.
Let it be known.
I am on a 24-hour champagne diet.
Yes,
Come on, Giannis, do your
like
thing.
this,
Do your
right?
thing. Wow. I still get a little teary and emotion whenever I see like celebrations, because I know that feeling. Do you feel that way too, Brendan?
You get happy for other champions.
Yes. Yes.
You know what you felt, you know what you went through.
Yeah.
When you see somebody else get to experience it, you get happy for other champions. You're like, man, I remember that moment. I'm so happy for Giannis, or I'm so happy for a guy like a Jeff Teague that gets to experience that. PJ Tucker, so many guys that help this team that aren't the biggest names, whether we're talking about Bobby Portis, DiVincenzo, who got hurt, but he was a big part of helping get this team to the playoffs. You just get happy to see all those guys have that champagne diet, put those goggles on and be champions and do that dance. Do your dance, Donovan. We're going to call that the Greek two-step.
Yes,
He
sir.
did, though, Brendan, become the first international player to be crowned Finals MVP since Dirk back in 2011. What is it like to play alongside a once-in-a-franchise player like him?
When you play with somebody that is that unique, sometimes you take it for granted, but then there's times when you just watch and you're just like, wow, it's incredible what this guy does. In 2011, we would sometimes just watch Dirk and be like, man, this dude's 7 feet tall, shooting one-leg fadeaways. Now I know one-leg fadeaways seem like pretty routine now, but in 2011, he was the only guy doing it. And when you see somebody 7 feet doing it, it's amazing. And it's the same thing with Giannis. When you see somebody 6'11", 7 feet tall, handling the ball in transition, Euro stepping all around the court, getting assists, but then at the same time making timely blocks and shutting down the basket, making plays above the rim. You're like, what are we really watching here? The guy's nicknamed the Greek Freak, and for a good reason, because on the court he's freakish. Hey, maybe for the dance moves too.
Hey, Nigerian-born, moved to Greece. He and his brothers hustling on the streets. You know, the way that they came up, just hard grinding. You know, his story is so beautiful. Watching the NBA from afar, wanting to be a champion, talking about these moments.
And now three of them are.
And then living it. I mean, as you said, all three of them as kids. I mean, it is such a beautiful, incredible, international, inspirational story that has really never happened. I mean, it's, you know, it's the stuff that, you know, fairy tales are made of.
Without a doubt. 3D, I want you to weigh in here as well, because Giannis became the 5th lowest drafted player to win a Finals MVP. So what does that say about being underrated, underappreciated, and ending up on top?
Well, Kristen, it's amazing because when you're unseen, you're unknown, right? So as he was building his resume, I think, Brendan, you talked about earlier, he didn't come up as a McDonald's All-American. He wasn't a big AAU phenom. He wasn't on anyone's real radar. If you go back, 9-10 years ago, and you saw the first video, you saw the skinny kid playing in maybe Division III or Division IV overseas. So you didn't see what you see today. But what he's shown us, guys, since he's been in the Milwaukee Bucks uniform, he's worked his tail off year after year, working on his game, his body. You remember how skinny he was the first couple of years? Now look at his shoulders, look at his arms. So all the things that we witnessed the last 8 or 9 years is sheer hard work, not believing all the naysay saying you can't do a certain thing on the court. So that's why I'm most impressed in what we're watching today, because each year Giannis has gotten better and better and listened to the coaches around him, and now you see the fruit of his labor.
You know, 3D, I'm going to go back to a moment you just reminded me of. You know, when John Hammond was here and he drafted Giannis, and Billy McKinney was his assistant GM, They asked me to come down and spend some time, talk to Giannis, and I never forget, he walked into the gym and he was just all legs and arms.
Right,
you know?
right.
He was legs and arms, and they was just talking about what they wanted to develop and grow in him, and it's amazing that he's turned out to be that. How about Ben Baker? Congratulations, Ben Baker.
Scene as well.
Marcus Johnson in the background.
Yes.
And Monty
Yes.
Williams walking into the building, walking into the room in order to congratulate Giannis and his team.
Monty's a class act. Like I said, if I'm trying to find a coach to set the culture and set the tone, Monty Williams is the guy for me. Yeah.
What can be said of the Suns' run this postseason?
What can be said for the Suns' run is that it was incredible.
Yes.
This is the first time the Suns have been relevant in a very long time. And even though Milwaukee is the champions, we can't forget about what Chris Paul did at this stage in his career. Where Devin Booker ascended to as a young up-and-coming star in this league. What James Jones did as a front office executive to help put all these pieces in place. They have good young players, guys like Cam Johnson, that were able to step up.
What school did he go to?
I think he went to a school down in Chapel Hill where they wear light blue. But I might be mistaken.
Okay.
But still, we have to congratulate the Phoenix Suns. They had an incredible year as well. And at the beginning of the year, nobody had them at this point. So Monty Williams, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, those guys, they did a fantastic job helping get the Phoenix Suns here. It just happened to be the Bucks year.
Let's talk a little bit about the All-Star Chris Middleton as well as we watch him celebrate with his cigar. 3D, you had the opportunity to sit down and speak with him ahead of this opportunity to close out Game 6 at home. I know I've used the word opportunity a lot, but that's what it was. That's what this is, and he is the one that has consistently met or exceeded expectations when the opportunity did present itself.
Well, Chris has always been a hard worker as well, guys. You know, once again, wasn't one of these, highly talented high school kids coming out. Texas A&M believed in him. He went there, had a solid career. We know his resume, guys, being a second-round pick. But once again, when you're in the gym working on your game, you're doing all the little things when no cameras on. That's what we see in Chris Middleton. He's not a rah-rah guy. I think, B, what you called him a couple days ago, Mr. Humble. He's just a humble guy, working hard, goes about his hard hat every day, and Milwaukee appreciates that. And now him and Giannis are on the same page, so I look for him. Is that Drew kissing the trophy?
Yeah, I remember that kiss.
Hey, Zeke, I remember that picture. You like kissing the trophy like that,
I remember
Zeke?
that kiss. You hugging it and you squeezing it. And
Hey, baby. You're like, hey, baby, I see you, baby.
Absolutely. love kissing the trophy. I mean, it's like one of those moments that it's like heaven.
Hey, what'd you say? Heaven must be like this. Yes, sir.
But you guys brought up Chris Middleton. Just look at his journey. This guy went from being in the G League to being the finisher, to being a finisher on an NBA championship level team.
Yeah.
And like you said, it just goes to show you that it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Because I guarantee you, when he was playing in them G League games, he had to think to himself, am I going to be where I want to be?
Yeah.
And then sometimes self-doubt can creep in.
Yep.
But guess what? He's here now. He continued to improve and ascend, and every single year he got better and better. And he's not a guy that's blessed with super athleticism. He doesn't jump out the gym. He's not a rah-rah guy. He's not lightning quick. He just has a mean skill set and knows how to score the ball and knows how to play this game, and he fits well within this offense. And every year he's gotten better and better and better. And now, finally, people are going to see him for what he is. They'll question about him, but now we know he's an all-star. We know he can do it on the big stage, and once again, he's an NBA champion.
I mean, you hit on the key thing when you said fit, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to be a superstar, an all-star, but we're seeing how important it is to be someone who's consistent, comes to practice every day, and just does what the coach asked him to do. That type of consistency, that type of being just a great teammate helps you to become a champion. We've been hit so many times with, you got to be the superstar, you got to be the best. But what winning championships is all about is getting a team and a group together to be great teammates and collectively work together. And Middleton does that.
And when called upon, Chris was often the one who hit the big shot or helped keep his team within shooting distance of several of these playoff games.
When called on. right? When called on. Not, hey, coach, you got to call my number. It's like, hey, when you call me, I'm going to be ready to go. He and Bobby Portis, great teammates.
Let's get back to Drew Holiday for a moment, because as you mentioned earlier, 3D, the Bucks went all in on his acquisition, his addition, and it undoubtedly paid off.
Yeah, it really did, guys. And Zeke, I think you and I talked about this yesterday as well. We haven't seen guys pick up 94 feet the way Drew Holiday has done these past 4 ball games. And I was saying the first couple games that I thought it was wearing his legs down when he was 4 of 14 and 7 of 21. Then he goes 3 games where he shoots the ball well, and he comes back tonight. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I don't have a stat sheet in front of me. He was 4 of 19?
4 for 19, yeah.
But still had 11 assists and still had 2 or 3 huge steals in the second half that helped the Bucks get back in the ball game. So once again, it's not all about the gaudy numbers. It's about the real numbers for Drew Holiday down the stretch to help get to be a champion.
Championship
And
level.
from here on out, that's how we'll have to introduce him.
Yes.
The NBA champion, Drew Holiday.
Hey, his game reeks of nothing but versatility. There's some guys when they're not scoring, they're snoring.
That's right.
Not
That's right.
Drew Holiday. He